I late. I know 2 days ago the trailer dropped and I've still yet to make a video. But first of all, oh my god, that trailer was awesome. It was spectacular. Spider-Man No Way Home's official trailer finally dropped and oh my god, it was so freaking amazing. And I'm so sorry I'm so late. Even though when the teaser came out, I had already made two videos by the time that I'm right now. Like, I did my reaction, I did a live stream, and originally I was planning on doing a live stream for this, but then the Wi-Fi went down, so now I got to do this pre-recorded video. But first, let me tell you about all the things I loved about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. But before we get into the rest of the video, now make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. That way you can be notified of future content here on the channel. My name is Isaac, and I'm the host of your multiverse of movies, a channel where we talk about movies, movie news, and everything in the wonderful world of movies. So if you're a big movie nerd, and if you're a big fellow film fan, Marvel fan, Spider-Man fan, whatever fandom you belong to, this is a place for you because we talk about movies a lot. And if you're really looking forward to Spider-Man No Way Home content, over here we got a lot of it. So be on the lookout for that. Follow me on my social media platforms on Instagram and Twitter at Isaac the Film Geek. And welcome, my fellow film loving brothers and sisters, to the multiverse of movies, a channel for you guys to enjoy and be the movie fans that you deserve, and you so are. But anyways, let's get into today's topic. And today's topic is the Spider-Man No Way Home official trailer. You guys know how excited I've been for this trailer. Now, I wasn't able to do a reaction. Let me first say why I wasn't able to do a reaction. I've decided I'm more than likely going to stop doing trailer reactions. And the reason why is because trailer reactions, there's a 50-50 chance every time you get copyrighted. And I've been copyrighted before here. Space Jam trailer, the Suicide Squad trailer, a lot of trailer reactions I've done in the channel have gone copyrighted. Surprisingly, the last Spider-Man one didn't get copyrighted, but I don't want to run the risk of getting my channel permanently deleted. So that's the main reason why I don't want to do reactions. But I do think it's even better that I do commentary after, because it's like everyone watches the trailer. You guys know what the reactions are. What does feel special is hearing people's perspective, what they liked and what they didn't like with the trailer. But that's what I'm going to do here on today's video. So I apologize if you guys were looking forward to a reaction, and I apologize for being late, but I promise you guys I won't be late, because this week I've been very busy. I've not been able to work on my YouTube, but I guarantee you guys that I'll be coming back. Probably less live streams and more pre-recorded videos, because I like pre-recorded videos more. It's much easier to do and all that. But anyways, the trailer was awesome, action-packed, adventure fun. I loved this trailer from beginning to end. I love how the last trailer, the teaser trailer, was more Spider-Man's identity is out, and now he no longer has that balance in his life between being Peter Parker and being Spider-Man. That's always something that's been big about the character of Spider-Man, where he has to balance his life, he has to make sure everything's good. And now he no longer has that borderline between those two. Now it's like they're both crossing paths. And now he can no longer hide behind a mask. Now he is fully fledged Peter Parker in the public. And that's what the teaser was. The teaser was him accidentally messing up Doctor Strange's spell, and then eventually hinting at multiverse. This trailer was a little different. This trailer does tell you the identity is out and all that. But the main thing they're trying to tell you, and the main thing they're trying to emphasize, is multiverse, because this film is a multiverse film, showing us the villains, showing us the Sinister Five. We saw Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, we saw Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, we saw Jamie Foxx's Electro, we saw Lizard, I always forget the actor's name, and we got Sandman, I also forget the actor's name. We got all the villains, but not only are they just villains, not only are they iconic Spider-Man villains, they're villains from previous installments of the Spider-Man franchises. That you got villains from the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. Then you got the Mark Webb, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe. It's like you got all these universes now coming together, and you're wondering, what kind of mayhem are they going to be wrecking upon us? And that's the big question we're asking ourselves. And personally, I'm all in for it. First of all, I love how much they showed of Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make some theories in this video, so bear with me. I think Dr. Octavius, after that first fight with Spider-Man, I think he's going to get along with Spider-Man, because I do think he's going to come in, that bridge scene, they're going to fight, and then he's going to be like, wait a minute. And he even says it in the trailer, you're not Peter Parker. He's like, who the heck is this kid? And then when Tom Holland's like, no, I'm Peter Parker, it's like, what? And then he's seeing the world around him. You see these Iron Man, Captain America, Shang-Chi characters coming everywhere in the world. And he's like wondering, what the heck am I at? Where am I? What the frick am I doing? And I love how the trailer really shows a lot of Octavius, and I do think he's gonna be the sympathetic villain. Because everyone knows in Spider-Man 2, one of the most iconic scenes was when he sacrifices himself at the end to save New York and realizes all the mistakes he's done. And I think that this movie will bring back that character, because something about these Spider-Man villains is, you know, the reason why Spider-Man villains are so iconic is because a lot of them aren't born evil. A lot of them aren't evil by default. They're not like, I'm gonna take over New York because I'm bad. Ha ha ha. It's more like they're all broken. They're all kind of put in this path. And it's always been a perspective of Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has always had that choice of being bad, because Spider-Man's a very strong dude. Spider-Man, if he wanted to, could hold all of New York hostage, but he doesn't. And, that's always the line: with great power comes great responsibility. And the villains are also in that spectrum, where it's like Octavius can use his powers for good. Green Goblin, he can use his powers for good. They all have these things where they all can do it for good, but because of circumstances that happen in their life, they don't follow that path. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, his whole company was taken away from him. A lot of people didn't believe in his project, and then he had to do it himself. And Octavius, another project that went wrong, and it's like all he cared about was avenging his Rosie. And you got villains like Jamie Foxx's Electro, Sandman especially, Lizard especially, that are all sympathetic in a way. And I do think Octavius is going to play a part, because if you see in the trailer, he's not really in the final battle. Now, do I think he's going to team up with the villains? Yes, but I do think that him and Tom Holland are going to get close. Tom Holland, because remember, Tom Holland's Spider-Man does not know about these villains. He doesn't even know if they're villains. All he sees is, these guys are attacking me. Now they're in a cage, because that's what it seems like it's going to be. And while, yes, I do think Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is going to be the main villain, he's going to be the big baddie, I do think that overall Octavius is going to be kind of the sympathies. Octavius is going to be the one who is able to talk to Spider-Man. And I do think that Spider-Man, especially with Green Goblin and Octavius, he's going to talk to them, because it does seem like Green Goblin's going to have moments with Peter Parker, talking to him about how, he was killed, he didn't want to be bad. And I do think that ultimately that's going to be kind of the soft spot, because Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are two different characters. Doctor Strange is protecting reality, and Spider-Man is protecting the little guy. And while Doctor Strange's mission is to send them back, even though they're going to die, once they're sent back, Peter is more like, no, I want to protect these guys, because these guys are the little guys, because none of these guys are like these rich billionaires. Like Jamie Foxx's Electro wasn't a rich billionaire. Lizard, he was a scientist, a scientist who had a failed lab experience. It's not like he was a billionaire. Same thing with Octavius. Although Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin was a billionaire, he was misguided. He was, and he starts empath. And I do think that this movie's going to have that ethical dilemma of, should they even be sent back if they're going to die? And look, us Spider-Man fans, we know that a lot of these guys are bad guys, but Tom Holland does not know that. Doctor Strange, well, he eventually learns that. And I love how this movie is setting up that dilemma. And I love how Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are going to fight in this movie. Although, let's say this right now, Doctor Strange is going to easily wipe the floor with Spider-Man. Because, look, I love Spider-Man more than Doctor Strange. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. But it's no secret that Doctor Strange could completely kick his butt. And he wouldn't even have to think about it. He wouldn't even have to think about it. And that's what I love about this trailer. Electro getting his comic book accurate suit, the way, the rays, but they do it with the electricity. That, I think, was really, really cool. I actually have a theory that he's going to be blue at the beginning. He's going to be blue, but they're going to use an arc reactor or something, because Octavius and Green Goblin are both intelligent. Then you got Lizard. They're all scientists. They're all intelligent. And it's like, I'm something of a scientist myself, but they're all intelligent, so they're going to be able to help Electro, because Electro, one thing he didn't like is he didn't want to be blue. He wanted to be human. And I do think that that's going to be a main motivation for Electro, where it's like, he wants to be human. He doesn't want anyone taking this away from him. And And I love that for Electro, and I love how he was even able to get his comic book accurate. Like, that's cool. I'm glad they didn't just put in the spandex. I'm glad that they actually did that cool Ray thing. I think that's really, really cool. And I do have some questions, like Sandman. Because remember, Sandman, I understand Octavius, I understand Lizard, I understand a lot of these villains. Sandman, that's a big question. Now, I've heard some theories saying that what happens is that Sandman, like years later after the whole Spider-Man 3 events, him and Spider-Man, or him and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they fight once more and he loses, and so he has that hatred for Spider-Man again. I don't know how to feel about that. I do what my theory is that Sandman comes in, right? And he comes in, and at first he's not a villain, and through this multiversal event, I do think that the villains are gonna persuade him. It's like, look, Spider-Man killed us. If you think Spider-Man's so good, remember he almost killed you. And I feel like they're gonna persuade Sandman, and then eventually Sandman's gonna change his mind. I do think that that's what's gonna happen with the villains. It's not gonna just be a punchy fight kind of thing. It's gonna be more a talking scenario. And I love that. And also, let me just say this. I love that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were not shown in the trailer. I know a lot of people were expecting them. I thought they were going to be shown, at least a silhouette or a shadow of them. But I'm so glad that they didn't, because, look, I want to save that moment for my theatrical experience, because I'm going to go watch this movie like 20 times in theaters. I'm definitely going to watch this on IMAX, the biggest screen possible, at my local AMC. And, I want to experience that Spider-Man moment in the big screen. Because imagine if Endgame's trailer showed Captain America lifting Mjolnir. That would have sucked. I don't want to see it through a phone. I look, the TV I have, which is up there and you guys can't see it, but I have a nice TV. I like the TV. I like watching shows on it. I like watching movies on it, but it's nothing as good as the theatrical experience, especially when it's on IMAX. It's like the theatrical experience is just too beautiful to be taken away. And I don't want to see a trailer show me a big moment that I want to experience in theaters. Especially something as big as the moment that Toby and Andrew show up. Because I do think that ending did tease a lot. I don't think in that scene that's when they show up. I think they're gonna be there way before that moment happens. I'm actually gonna make a big theory. I'm gonna make a big assumption. Big assumption right now. Theory. This is not a scoop. This is not nothing. I believe that ending in the trailer was not Toby and Andrew showing up. I think it's going to be a ton of Marvel characters. I think it's going to be different Marvel characters throughout the history of Marvel's history. Maybe you could get like a Morbius, a Venom, maybe even I'm going to stretch it out, maybe Charles Xavier. And I think that specific thing, I think Spider-Man's going to help Doctor Strange in that moment. I don't know what the heck that moment is, but I think in that moment, Spider-Man has to accept his fate, that he can no longer live in this universe. And I do think in that moment, he goes into the Sonyverse and is able to bring the characters back to where they belong. I know I'm stretching it right there, but I think in that moment, Spider-Man, and then after that, Doctor Strange is going to have to fix the multiverse of madness, which is obviously the sequel to Doctor Strange, and I guess you could say technically a sequel to Spider-Man No Way Home. First of all, let me just say this. Marvel, I gotta applaud them. They're going through this multiversal phase now. I'm assuming. Obviously, not every character. I don't think Eternals are going to show up. I don't think Shang-Chi's going to be a part of it. I don't think obviously you can't. Black Widow obviously is not going to be in it, but Loki could be there. Wanda could be there. I gotta applaud Marvel. Because look, I love multiverse as much as anybody, but I'll admit multiverse movies tend to have a lot of plot holes and a lot of mistakes in it, and I'm really wondering what they're gonna do, because I do think things set up in Spider-Man No Way Home are gonna lead into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I do think something like that's gonna happen. Whether I'm right or wrong, we're gonna have to wait and see and find out. But if I'm to put any money on it, I do think this movie leads into Multiverse of Madness, which I'm so excited for. I'm really excited to see what they do with these projects. I am wondering what's happening. I don't think in Spider-Man No Way Home we're not going to see Wanda. I don't think we're going to see Wanda. We're not going to see Loki. Maybe in a post-credit. Maybe in the very, very end. Maybe. but I do think Multiverse of Madness. I mean, we already know Elizabeth Olsen's coming back as Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, and Loki. I'm gonna say this right now. I think Loki is gonna show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but really, this trailer, like multiverse, because I don't think this movie is going to be specifically a movie about Spider-Man saving the multiverse. I think it's going to be more of a movie of Spider-Man confronting the past of the multiverse and having to put these characters back where they came from and having to battle that ethical dilemma of should we send them back if it leads to their death. Now, I do think Spider-Man's eventually going to have to side with Doctor Strange. I mean, you see in the final battle, they're fighting together. My only question is, now, obviously I haven't seen the movie, but wouldn't Doctor Strange just be able to wipe a portal and just swoop them out? Because, let's face it, Doctor Strange is much stronger than all these villains. But, remember that I also got to remind myself that Green Goblin, Norman Osborn is intelligent. I mean, he's a billionaire for a reason. Then you also have Octavius, he's intelligent too. Lizard. Why am I for Dr. Connor? Dr. Connor. Why there? Why? Hey, we've gone 16 minutes in this video, and I'm just now reminding myself what Lizard's name is. Dr. Connor. Dr. Connor. We do know that they're intelligent, so maybe they'll find a way to avoid going back to their timeline. And also the deaths. I'm gonna say this. I think either Aunt May or Happy Hogan are gonna die. If I was to put any money, I'm going to say Happy's going to die. And I'm going to say this because in the trailers, what I think is going to happen is they're going to go for Aunt May. I think they're going to head to Aunt May, try to kill her because maybe she has something that they need. Maybe Spider-Man's hiding something. Because Green Goblin, we all know, this ain't the first time Green Goblin has attacked the Aunt May of Spider-Man. This is not the first time. If I'm to put any money, I would say that Happy dies because you can see in the trailer Electro shocks a car, and in the trailer you see a similar background when Happy in the teaser trailer you see Happy in a car with similar background. Well, I do think someone major is gonna die. A lot of people have been saying Zendaya is gonna die. I don't think Zendaya dies, especially because Spider-Man. Look how close he is to her. And I'm gonna say this. I think that's Andrew Garfield. Look, they're editing things a lot out. I mean, we saw that lizard punch getting punched by John Cena, so that confirms John Cena is going to be in the movie. No, I'm joking. But if I'm to put any money, I think that's going to be Andrew Garfield. I think that's Andrew Garfield saving Zendaya, kind of like a redemption moment, kind of I'm not going to let you lose another one, man. I'm not going to let you go through what I went through. Because there is a shot in the trailer where they kiss, and it looks like Peter just went through a tough battle like after. So I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna kill off Michelle Jane. I don't think they will, especially because of how popular Zendaya has been. But then again, we don't even know if this is the final Spider-Man film, or at least the final Tom Holland Spider-Man film. If I'm to predict what's gonna happen after this, I think this movie, the ending will be Spider-Man is sent into the Sonyverse. Now, will Ned and MJ go with him? Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Or something like that. I think eventually what's going to happen is the ending. Spider-Man's going to have to make the sacrifice of having the world forget. But I do think he's going to go to another universe. And it's going to be a Sonyverse. Because I do think that they're going to end this contract, his contract with Disney, this Disney-Sony partnership, which has worked amazing. I loved Homecoming. I'm not a fan of Far From Home, but a lot of people love Far From Home, so there you go. And, No Way Home, remember, 2 years ago, or a year ago, I think, Marvel, Disney and Sony were having contract disputes, and I believe they made the deal to have, hey, look, we're going to let you have this final movie, and bye. A lot of people, I know there's been rumors that there's going to be Disney Plus spin-offs and that there's going to be 3 more Spider-Man films, Disney. I don't think Sony wants to work with Disney anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. And remember, I could be wrong. But bear with me. The thing about this is, Sony no longer has to work with that stigma that, oh, it's only Marvel doing it. They have Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage that they already released, and they've proven to be successful. And ever since before that first Venom movie came out, all everyone has ever wanted to see is that Venom fights Spider-Man. And I'm gonna spoil the post credit for Venom Let There Be Carnage. I think that post credit, I think Venom will show up in a post credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home, but Venom, Venom himself, I think they really want to bank off that Venom Spider-Man rivalry. Everyone loves that rivalry. A lot of people have just been asking to see them finally be on film. Morbius, there's clearly Sony's planning a Spider-Man cinematic universe, the Spunk universe. Um, you know, and I don't think they want Disney to be a part of that anymore because, obviously they want Tom Holland. I've seen a lot of people say, why can't they just have Tom Holland do Disney Spider-Man films and then have Sony do their own Spider-Man? That doesn't work, pal. That does not work. That's going to cause you to lose a lot of money because if you're having like Spider-Man movies every year, eventually people are going to be fatigued by Spider-Man, and the average movie going audience, they're going to be confused. They're going to be like, wait, so this Spider-Man is here and then that Spider-Man is there? What? And sure, DC's doing that with Batman, but remember, they're only having Michael Keaton be a side part of Flash while they're having Pattinson do his Pattinson Batman movie. So that's less confusing. While the plan I was implying is that it's two Spider-Man having two different franchises in a confusing way. But we'll have to see. I wouldn't be disappointed. I would love them to leave on a high note. As much as I love Spider-Man in the MCU, I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland's great. One of my biggest criticisms of the Spider-Man Disney partnership is that they made him too much Doctor Strange. I mean, not Doctor Iron Man Jr. I love Homecoming. Homecoming to me is a top 3 favorite MCU film. I love Homecoming. And I'll even say this: I'm a big Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire fanboy, but I'll tell you this: I think Spider-Man Homecoming is a better film than the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film back in 2002. I'll say that. Maybe. I know a lot of people are going to say that's the unpopular opinion, but I think Homecoming's a better film than the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. I love Homecoming. But I don't like how Far From Home did his character. How they were like, no, that's Iron Man Jr. And while I've had a lot of fun seeing Spider-Man team up with the Avengers, that's a childhood dream come true right there. I just don't. I no longer see that this partnership could work, especially with the disputes that they've had in the past. Kevin Feige, because look, let's keep it simple here. Marvel does not need Spider-Man, but Spider-Man doesn't need Marvel. I know that sounds confusing, but I'm about to explain. Sony has proven that they can do successful films without Spider-Man. We got Venom, and we got Venom Let There Be Carnage. They realize that they're like, we can make our own money. We don't need Marvel. We don't need Marvel Studios in our. We don't need them. We can do our own stuff. Bring us Spider-Man, and we can do our own stuff. And the same thing with Marvel. Kevin Feige is like, we don't need Spider-Man. Sure, the Spider-Man films have made a ton of money, but you got movies like Captain Marvel that made $1 billion in the box office. You got the Avengers films that are doing world-breaking numbers. You got movies like Shang-Chi that did really well. You got Eternals that I actually don't know the Eternals box office. I'll admit that I haven't been keeping, so I'll ignore what I've just said. But then you got you got franchises like Black Widow that are doing well. You got franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy. You got all these characters, and it's like Kevin Feige is like, Spider-Man, sure, it's great to have Spider-Man in here, but it's not like it's the thing that was making us the most money. It's not that. I mean, sure, individual character, he has made the most money, but Marvel's making money either way. Both companies are making money either way. So it's kind of like a, move on. It's a moving on. Now, I could be wrong, but if I'm to make a prediction, I think this is the final film for both sides to collab. I no longer see their collaboration anymore. I don't see that happening anymore. So I'll just say that. I know this video is overly long. I actually want to let me say this. I want to make these videos where I'm making more in-depth videos because there's been times where in the 10 I do them 10-minute runtime, but I wanted to go longer, and I don't want to do live streams because live streams requires a lot of connection, a lot of issues. But let me know if you like these format videos, or it's like a podcast, or it's kind of like a podcast where it's just I ramble on about what things I did. But I don't know why I'm rambling on too much today. I guess I just love that trailer so much. You guys have no idea how many times I've been repeating that trailer. I've been rewatching and rewatching and rewatching that trailer. I love that trailer. But overall, I'm excited to see what both franchises do. I'm excited for this. I'll say this right now. If it was up to me, to choose where each character could be, I would actually prefer Spider-Man go back to Sony, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Marvel has so many characters at this point. We have so many characters that the superhero world that they've built feels kind of, it doesn't feel special. Like, it doesn't feel and look, Eternals that recently came out is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe film. These films come out, and now you're feeling less and less specialty in that universe. And now with mutants coming in sooner, you're wondering what the heck. Because even the comics got to that point. Even the comics would never got to address stuff like, why are X-Men, why are the mutants, why are they being treated so badly, but these other superhero beings aren't? Like Hulk. Well, I mean, Hulk is actually, never mind that, but Spider-Man and all these other characters, where it's like mutants get all the hate, but these other, it's like, we're getting so convoluted that I think I'd rather have Spider-Man go into Sony where he feels special, and especially with the Iron Boy Jr. stuff. Because look, I love how they handled it in Homecoming, but to me in Far From Home, they clearly didn't land it for me. At least for me. I know a lot of you guys are gonna disagree. I know that's probably one of my most unpopular movie opinions, is that I just didn't like Far From Home, and I'm the biggest fan of Homecoming. I have never met anyone in my life who loves Spider-Man Homecoming than me, and I love Homecoming. I also love Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man. I've loved every Spider-Man. I know there are some people who don't like Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield, or I've met people who don't like at least one Spider-Man. I love all of them, and all of them have had a film I love. My favorite Spider-Man film is still Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. Then you got Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man, which I loved. And then Spider-Man Homecoming, I obviously loved. And I think I'm gonna love Spider-Man No Way Home. I think I'm definitely going to love Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know. I'm excited. I think the trailer was great. Electro, Lizard, everyone was just fantastic. Let me get into one complaint. I only have one complaint. Just one tiny complaint. I liked the Scooby-Doo line. I actually did like the joke. Let's Scooby-Doo this crap. I actually liked that joke. But it went on way too long. Like when Zendaya was like, well, could you say please? That's where I'm like, okay, yeah, you're going way too long. Like, when you do jokes in movies, you gotta know when to cut it at the right time. Let's Scooby-Doo this crap, and maybe have them laugh and then move on. Especially in a trailer where you only got like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, however long the trailer is. When you got such a short time period, you gotta know how to get people in. And I don't think wasting that much time on a joke like that. And I love this. I like the joke. It didn't make me laugh hard, but it did make me chuckle. But it did go on too long. That's the only nitpick I have. I did see. So I'm in a group chat I'm actually in multiple group chats, which is very exhausting. But I'm in multiple group chats with YouTubers, and I remember some of them were like, they didn't like that Dr. Octavius, his name was being disrespected. Because he says his name is Dr. Otto Octavius, and Spider-Man, Ned, and MJ, they were all kind of laughing, and a lot of people, I saw some people getting upset about the joke because it's like, oh, they're disrespecting Otto Octavius. And I'm like, well, you have to remember that an Otto Octavius does not exist in their universe, so it's not like in the Sam Raimi universe where Octavius was this brilliant, intelligent scientist who was building stuff that could have potentially saved New York. And it's not like that. In this world, an Otto Octavius doesn't exist. And let's be honest right now. The name Otto Octavius sounds silly. Especially for a guy who carries tentacles. And calls himself Doc Ock. Also known as Dr. Octopus. So that is pretty funny. And they're teenagers. Teenagers laugh at everything. I'll tell you this right now. When I was a teenager, I laughed at literally the dumbest things. And I still laugh at the dumbest things. Um, but there's a lot of things like that. And what was another? I do love the line. One line that I feel like isn't being used that much. I love the line where Octavius is like, "You're going in to fight Ghost," and then you have like, you have Spider-Man then be like, "What do you mean?" And then Doctor Strange is like, "Well, they've all died in their past," and I love that. I loved Doc Ock's line on that. I love how they set that. And also, let me actually now make my prediction for who is the sixth villain, because I know a lot of people are like, Sinister Five? What, really? I'm going to say this. I think there's going to be a sixth villain. Who do I think it is? I think it's Mysterio. I think it is Mysterio. I think it's Mysterio. We're going to find out that he never died. He had a backup plan, and he is coming in, and he's going to help the multiversal villains fight the Spider-Men. Now, it could be wrong. I give myself a 20% chance I'm right, but I think Mysterio's coming back. Because, again, he's Mysterio. He's the master of illusion. The guy knows what he's doing. So, if I'm to put any money, I'm going to say Mysterio is here. I'm going to say Mysterio's here. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for no trailer reaction. I'm sorry I'm 2 days late, but I'm glad that I'm even able to do this video in general. But, hey, we're going to have to wait and see and find out if Mysterio's there. I cannot wait to see Tobey and Andrew's return. Finally, after years, they're coming back. But anyways, I'm sorry if I made this video overly long. I feel like these videos where I just talk and talk and talk are much better than my short, straight to the point videos, because I had too much. Maybe this is maybe a once in a lifetime thing, but I made this 30-minute video. I mean, this is longer than my Eternals review. I'm surprised about that. The reason why my Eternals review was so long was because I didn't know how to properly explain things, because I was just so mesmerized by how beautiful that film was. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I guess that's how amazed I was by the trailer that the video ended up being 30 minutes long. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stay tuned. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notification bells, smash the like button, do whatever it is you need. Follow me on my social media platforms. And thank you once again, my fellow film-loving brothers and sisters, for joining us in today's installment of the multiverse of movies. And while sure, the multiverse in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is being broken, the multiverse over here is not broken, at least for the meantime. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.